Republicans are furious over the humiliating defeat that they suffered earlier this week with the failure to impeach Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. Now, of course, there was no reason to impeach Mayorkas. You know this, I know this, and even many Republicans know this. But that doesn't really matter in MAGA world. But it was a huge failure nonetheless. Salon has a very interesting article about this. What the hell are they thinking? Furious Republicans erupt over embarrassing defeat. Now, we know that the effort to impeach Mayorkas was rooted in political grandstanding and to some degree xenophobia. Xenophobia against not only people coming from Central and South America, but xenophobia against Mayorkas as well. They weren't about genuine concerns with immigration policy or law enforcement. How do we know that? Because Republicans are now holding up their own bill that they said we need to keep the country safe, the border bill. And so this really highlights, despite the failure of the impeachment attempt, that Republicans are the ones using impeachment as a political tool for revenge. And they are claiming that it's the Trump impeachments that actually fit that description, politically motivated and without merit. But it is this failed attempt at impeaching Mayorkas that actually is that. So Congressman Ryan Zinke admitted that the Republican Party has succeeded more in obstructing than he has succeeded, than they have succeeded at actually accomplishing anything, governing. He said, I knew that we would have the ability to block the Democrat agenda. We've exceeded my wildest expectations on blocking, because we not only block the Democrat agenda, we block the Republican agenda. We don't have command of the field. So he's admitting we are so obstructionist that we are blocking our own agenda. And the failure to impeach while at the same time opposing their own border bill is just another example of that. Congressman Troy Niels of Texas said to Axios, the vote on Mayorkas was, quote, shameful, adding, I mean, what the hell are they thinking? We should have gotten this done. And then Congressman Corey Mills from Florida said there's a plethora of reasoning and justification and evidence. I just don't understand why we can't do the one thing the American people want. Of course, the American people don't want Mayorkas impeached. Congressman Mark Alford from Missouri, Republican, said it's very frustrating as a freshman to realize we don't have the cohesiveness and fortitude to come together to vote what's right for America. It's not right for America, but it's true they couldn't come together to vote for it. Marjorie Taylor Greene said she didn't have anything to say to the three Republicans who voted against this, Buck, Gallagher, and McClintock, saying only, quote, I think they'll hear from their constituents. One of the stories that is a related story to the weaponization of impeachment is that of the misguided priorities of the Republican Party. When they could actually participate in fixing real issues, I've said this before, DACA, overstayed visas, companies that get away with hiring undocumented immigrants, and it's only the immigrants who are punished and not the companies. They could actually participate in really solving something. But their priority isn't to solve something. Their priority is to have a problem to point to use the problem they point to, whether it's real or imaginary, to justify putting their candidates in power, to justify attacking Democrats. And these efforts, you know, it's not just that they are liars about their principles. It's not just that what they want or what they claim to want in many cases would be bad for the country. These are efforts that distract from their ability to solve real problems. And they've calculated, this is the sickest part of it. Republicans have calculated, and they might be right in their calculation. They've calculated that the benefit of participating in solving real problems is smaller than the benefit to be gained from continuing to insist that we have all these problems and we're going to impeach this and we're going to impeach that. They have clearly determined, and maybe they're right, that if they just participate in fixing DACA, for example, which they mostly agree on, we all know this, Republicans have determined even if we fix DACA, it's not going to be that useful to us. Credit might go to Democrats and it might not be connected to what. So we're just going to obstruct. We're not going to participate in dealing with climate change, which many of them don't even believe in. We're not going to deal with economic inequality. We're not going to deal with healthcare. Instead, we're not even going to deal with the actual border problems we claim exist. We'll oppose our own bill at the end of the day. We'll just try impeachment because we believe that this will benefit us and our reelections more than actually solving problems. And the sick reality with the 2024 Republican Party is they might be right. They might actually do better with their voters by just insisting that they're going after these boogeymen rather than solving actual problems. And that should scare all of us. As the host of this show and also a consumer of news in general, one reliable source of record that I have turned to is the Washington Post. And they're one of today's sponsors, letting you subscribe for just 50 cents per week. The Washington Post just helps me go deeper on the news that matters most. Their journalists bring facts and clarity about what's happening in DC, the economy, climate change, foreign policy, things I care about. I have always used the Washington Post to prepare for the David Pakman Show. It's a news outlet that is quality and provides fact-based reporting. And whether it's breaking news updates or comprehensive political and international coverage, thought-provoking opinion, dinner recipes, if that's what you want, a Washington Post subscription has something for every type of news reader. They bring stories that explain the world, teach you something, inspire you. A Washington Post subscription makes it easy to access quality, trustworthy journalism, and it's affordable too. Go to WashingtonPost.com/Pakman to subscribe for just 50 cents per week for your first year. That is 80% better than their typical offer. It's an amazing deal, and the link is down below.